am the champ. Technically, I was attacked after the event and my belt was stolen.
Mm.
So I'm still the champion. He is the challenger.
Okay, but he does have the belt, the physical belt.
Yeah, I guess if you want to go that route, possession of 9/10 of the law. But yeah,
Okay, and this isn't your first time either, by the way, where you're the champion and you don't have your belt. It seems to be a recurring theme for you, where people take your titles away from you without actually winning them.
I mean, if they can't take it legally, I guess they'll just take it by any means necessary. You can't beat me for it, bro. That's all I know.
Okay, well there you go. Coming off the ECWA Super 8 tournament, and there you go. It's updated with Pretzel Mania. Sorry about that.
Oh, sure.
So at Super 8, a very emotional win. You beat Darius Carter to take the ECWA heavyweight title. I think a lot of people kind of viewed it as an upset. Was it an upset in your mind?
No, I said it. Maybe at a different point in the last 2 years, it would be an upset, but that night there was no shot. King Kong couldn't beat me that night. I was
Okay.
that was one of those matches where it consumed me. That's all I thought about for months. That's all I can think about. It was like ruining my life to a certain degree, and I wasn't. I just had to get it over with, and I just wasn't gonna. It just had to go that way. If that makes sense.
No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I think sometimes, when you're on a run like you've had for the last year or so, kind of building one thing, building on another, giving up your championship to challenge for the title. Of course, beating Joey Ace the way you did to send him packing. It could have been you packing.
All right.
And, you fought tooth and nail through that. And that, then you get in Darius Carter's way. And all of a sudden, I mean, it just felt like the logical progression for Locked In LA Vin.
Right. I mean, you got to look at too what Darius did over the course of the years, right? Like
Yeah.
during the loser leaves town match between me and Joey Ace, he got involved. So he one now he's trying to cost me my career. Then he was saying he wouldn't give me a title shot unless I gave up my legacy championship, which I did, just so he can get himself disqualified at the end of that. So that way, now I gave up my championship and I don't have my legacy championship, and he got himself disqualified. Thank God I got a rematch because I think a lot of people would be unhappy.
All right. Yeah, and absolutely. And I feel like it was the right thing to do, believe it or not, by Cheyenne Ortiz, the president of ECWA. To kind of look at it, the Russian assassin, like you said, he kind of beat you down. He took your title. He ran away with it. What would you say to the Russian assassin if he thought he could understand you?
It's I could use some sign language right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like once you get like I worked my butt off to get to the top of the mountain, right? You ever play King of the Hill when you were a kid?
Yeah, yeah.
When you're at the top of the mountain, you're the guy. Like that's where the work doesn't stop. It kind of gets a little harder. Like the goal was to get there. Now the goal
Yeah.
is to stay there, right? So yeah, Rush Assassin out of nowhere. Just I thought I was done with him, but I'm not. And this time he's a little different though. He's got that pipsqueak Reggie in his corner, which I hate him on a personal level. I don't like him. I don't think anybody likes him. Anybody who ever met him knows that he's a piece of garbage human being. But I digress.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it safe to say that you're locked in for this match?
Yeah. Locked in. And
Okay.
they steal so think about this for a second, right? We just went over all the things that it took me to get the championship from Darius, right? All the problems, all the and then so I have it and I can't even hold it because these jerks stole it from me.
Right.
So with that being said, like now I'm at a different level of spite. I'm at a different level of hatred. I'm like you were gonna think you're just gonna willy nilly take something, the manifesting thing that I've worked so hard for. You're
Yeah.
gonna take that and you're gonna think I'm gonna have no problem with it. Bro, I'm getting my hands are getting sweaty, my palms are getting sweaty. I'm getting anxious just thinking about it.
What kind of version of L.A. Vin is the Russian assassin and King Reginald? What are they going to get from you?
So determination, right? So like Rocky Four. That's all I have to say. It's a beautiful analogy right now.
Yeah.
Rocky Four. His friend was killed by this person. Now,
Right.
now nobody can kill my friend, but he tried to take from me something I worked so hard to get. I
Yeah.
couldn't bring it home. So like when he killed a piece of me. I'm the champ, but I don't have my belt. That hurt me. So determination times 10 is the LA Vin they're gonna get.
Okay. So determination times 10.
Determination
You
times 10.
know.
It's a good T-shirt.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So, what can people kind of expect from you with this title reign? I mean, I think there aren't a whole lot of people that are giving the Russian assassin a huge chance here. But, assuming that you're able to beat him, what else can we kind of expect from this title reign?
So I would say a locomotive starts to go and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes
Mm-hmm.
until it reaches top speed.
Yeah.
We are not at top speed yet. We're slowly cruising. It's just going to get better and better and better and better. The bar is always going to be set higher and higher and higher.
Anybody in particular that you'd like to kind of lock horns with down the line?
Not really particular. Like I have well Reggie. I like to get in the ring. I don't like I said on a personal level. I hate him. I'm excited to get in the ring with the Russian. I can't wait to bounce him around. Um,
Yeah.
there's I just there's people who are go in your life and you like to thank and stuff like not that never I would never want to fight him, but like Mr. Lala is like one of those people who pushed me towards the right direction. So I just want to say thank you, Mr. Lala. You
Mm-hmm.
he's like I wasn't gonna give him my legacy championship. He's like, go ahead, Vin, you should. I want to thank him. I like
See,
it.
see, this is why Ulala is a genius and the man. He takes people under his wing and he leads them in the right direction.
I don't know about genius, but
Well,
he's he's got a
he's
heart of
there.
gold, and I just want before I forget, I can thank him. I'm just trying to think of the ECWA roster currently right now. You know what? The the backyarders are still a thorn in everyone's side. I like to get a hold of them. Sam Shields is a guy who I really admire. If he wants a shot, all he has to do is ask. We've danced before, and so I'm open to anybody at this point.
Pretty much anybody. Okay. Okay.
Anybody
even that,
Now,
even that Mozart Fontaine dude.
He's got to get past my buddy Lala first.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not happening. That's not happening. Don't worry. We'll let him know on Thursday he's got no shot. We'll tell him you said no chance.
Good. Good.
Yeah, you mentioned Mr. Willala kind of helping to motivate you to push to the next level. I'm not sure at what point things kind of turned for you, but I'm pretty sure that there was a point, LA Vin, where you didn't really expect to be ECWA champion. So what changed there?
You know what it was? It was I stopped. I've always wanted to be the ECWA champion, and that's always
Yeah.
been the goal. But I've always said like any journey takes a couple steps at a time. You have to start with one step. So I'm a big believer in the micro goals to get to the macro goal. So I didn't think of it at all. I just think about every match. How can I make this the best match? How can I steal the show with this match I have coming up? How can I make it hard for anybody to follow it? And that was always my goal. And then
Okay.
I put me on Darius's radar, which I guess he didn't approve, and that's how we got entangled.
Well, you know what? You were able to survive it. One of the listeners wants to know your favorite moment as a professional wrestler. Was it from Super 8 this year?
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite to be able to put that title on my son's shoulder. And in a lot of ways, it was because when I was a kid, I really couldn't, I wasn't a very strong reader. but I loved wrestling magazines, and I'd force myself to read the wrestling magazines, even though I hated reading. And I would read about ECWA all the time in those, PWI, and I'm like, I was his age when I read about it, so to take
Right.
ECWA title and put it on his shoulders was almost like putting it on my own shoulders. And put it on that 8-year-old kid's shoulders. Like, here you go, you did it, we did it. It was that's gonna be tough to top. That was a very special moment for me.
What was that? What was your son's reaction when the referee hit 3 there?
He is legitimately my biggest fan. The best way I can describe this is a guy who bet the mortgage on the Monday Night Football. He lives and dies with every snap of the play. He's up and
Okay.
down. Oh my god! Like he's my biggest fan. So his reaction was he started tearing up when he came in there. I don't know,
Well,
it was emotional.
it's interesting then, because like ECWA, I feel like it has a lot of fans kind of like your son that were like, just really invested in the last couple shows. And to look at it, I feel like the attendance and the sellouts and the standing room only, it really has kind of coincided with you shooting to the top. Do you see that? And why is that the fans are kind of connecting with you on a different level?
I wish I could tell you. Maybe they see work ethic. Maybe they see entertainment. Maybe they see, I don't know. Like, why is your favorite wrestler your favorite wrestler? It's really hard to actually articulate that, right? But as the
Mhm.
crowd started getting bigger, my T-shirts started selling more, and I just kept doubling down on everything that I do. If that makes sense. It started growing, and it has been standing room only for a while now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
get your tickets sooner than later. There was people
yeah,
who the last event was sold out, and people they
they
got turned
left.
away. So yeah, they
Yeah,
got get your tickets.
it's
Pretzelmania
it's great.
is the premium event.
It's great to see the fans kind of getting behind it though, because for a while there, I know ECWA. I'm not going to say it was struggling,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's so difficult to run an independent show nowadays, especially one where you can't have major stars on every show. And by major stars I mean people off of television. And for whatever reason, this locker room is just so special to me. I feel like everybody's got a purpose and everybody's working toward like a common goal. And with you kind of as the leader of the locker room at this point, de facto, I feel like ECWA is doing a whole lot of things right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody is fitting into place, like you said. Like the round peg is going to the round hole, the square peg is going to the square hole. Everybody knows their job, and the locker room is working harder than they've ever had. And I think the shows see it too. I think it manifests into the show. Like that's why we're getting a lot of return fans. And it's funny you say like the names, right? The big names you say, like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had big names like back in the day, with prior organizations, and it didn't sell as well as when a fan has a personal connection with the wrestler, whether that's good or bad. That's a personal connection that is just in some ways supersedes the name. It's so, like, the names are like the people you see on TV, and you're like, oh, yeah, I love that guy. But when you have like a personal relationship, like the Backyarders, people love to hate those guys, and I
yeah.
just hate those guys. Um, they just like, but they feel like that's their annoying neighbor. They know them. They have a connection with them.
You really hate them? I feel
Yeah,
like there's some likability there.
yeah. They're like I guess it's like a messed up sandwich, like a bad piece of pizza.
I got you. Peanut butter and mustard. I got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, that's great. So again, LA, then yeah, you're going to be challenging. I'm sorry, you're going to be defending. Well, it'll feel like challenging because the Russian Assassin has your title belt there, Big Red. But you're going to be defending the ECWA title and it's April 26th. So it's coming up really quickly, the end of the month for Pretzel Mania. I know Pretzel Mania, the brainchild of I guess former World One promoters, and the show has like such a long history at this point. I love the name, by the way. I think it's amazing.
We had Pretzel Mania, we had Pizza Palooza, but Pretzel Mania was definitely the winner there. Like something sticks and something doesn't. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's great. Ryan, did you have any questions for Locked In LA Vin?
I do, actually. If you could pick any wrestler of any era, any company to have a dream match against, number one, who would it be? And number two, what kind of match would it be?
Hulk Hogan. And I say that for a lot of different reasons. I'm a strong wrestling Hulk Hogan defender. I want to preface by saying wrestler Hulk Hogan defender, because you look at all the big moments of wrestling. For me personally, it's always been centered around Hulk Hogan, and I would just want him to call a match. That would be my dream, like to have him just call a match for a world title. A lot of people hate on him. I get it. But, like, there's a lot of things. Like, I always say this, like, Hulk Hogan always did whatever he needed to get over wherever he was. He wrestled different in Japan. He wrestled different when he got older. He wrestled different when he had to be a heel. He wrestled different when he had to be a champ. He wrestled differently everywhere. And it just, to me, he's the quintessential pro wrestler. Now, slightly, other than Hulk Hogan, if I want to have like a really back and forth battle, I guess I go Bret Hart. I just would love to see what he would do because he's one of those guys who I hear would take what do you do best and then work a match around it. So I'd like to see, bell to bell, by far the best in-ring competitor. So Bret Hart. Why? Who would be yours?
Oh, goodness gracious. What would be the kind of match?
It's a tough question, huh? You don't like it.
I'm looking at it from the perspective of what would the dream match be that I want to see you in? See, if I had my choice of a dream match for you, I think I would like to see you against Kenny Omega in a 60-minute Iron Man match. I think that would be a lot of fun because you have that it factor that I feel like you would get over really well with a crowd like that.
That's an interesting choice.
Sure. Kenny, if you hear this and you got the stones, bro, we'll do a 61-minute. We'll do a 61-minute Iron Man match because we'll just make it better than everybody else's.
Yeah.
A 61-minute Iron Man match.
There you go. Not for nothing, but my dream match would be Alexa Bliss. It could be almost anywhere.
Oh, trust me, that would absolutely
62-minute Iron Man match.
Tuxedo match?
Yeah, maybe.
Brady, let's be honest. There's no way you're going 62 minutes with Alexa Bliss. I don't even know if you go 2 minutes with Alexa Bliss.
No. I think I would go on offense early and then just kind of hang back and just try and let the clock run out, I guess.
And innuendo implied, if that was anybody need to hear that.
So LA Vin, for people who have never been to an ECWA show, what are they missing?
What I think it brings to life, and you tell me if you agree with this assessment, they're missing wrestling the way everybody in their head thinks it should be, who thinks wrestling should be on Saturday mornings. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make it's that vibe? It's that Saturday morning wrestling, the thing that you've been missing, the fun, the story, the athleticism, like all that stuff we try to encapsulate and bring it to like the modern era.
I always say because
best, Brady, that might be the best I've ever heard ECWA described. Like that actually
it's perfect.
Really is a perfect description for ECWA.
Sure, because they're a show. There's wrestling, but there's also a lot of entertainment. I always say it would be great for a Saturday morning show. I know ECWA had Saturday Morning Slam for a while. I'd love to see stuff like that kind of come back, because I think there was a lot of demand for it. So very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
So ECWA Pretzelmania, April 26th. LA Vin defending Big Red against the Russian Assassin. Vin, before we let you go, could I ask a huge favor of you?
Sure, bud.
Okay. Could I get you to record a bumper to play on the beginning of the show? Just basically tell people who you are and remind them that they're listening to In the Room.
In the room?
Yep.
And make sure you throw in the fact that you are ECWA world champion. You know.
There you go.
I'm saying, let people know. This we get the champ on this show.
Yeah. Then we'll have it translated so the assassin can hear it.
Tell you, bro, I don't need translation.
Well, the reason why we don't have the assassin on this show because he's not world champ material.
That would be sweet. Yeah. So whenever you're ready.
Sure. This is ECWA World Champion, Locked In LA Vin, telling you you're lucky enough to be listening to In the Room with some of the best minds in wrestling. This podcast, you are marked.
I love it. Thank you so much for the time, brother.
No problem.
I'll be seeing you, I guess, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Coming up fast. Cool.
I'm telling you guys, buy your tickets. We don't want to lock anybody out. We're locked in LA Vin. We're not locked out LA Vin. So buy your tickets before standing room only.
I do actually.
Then he's going to lock you in, so you have to watch it.
I do have one last fast question for you.
Sure. I have all the time, guys. You're not holding me up.
Do you know who's officiating? Is it going to be Finnegan officiating your match and all? Has that come out yet?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a different. Finnegan has. I've heard Finnegan has palms that can, tend to face upward, and with the assassin around, you got to be careful. Might be some money switching hands.
You know what? He calls it down the middle unless he's dealing with his the backyardigans, as I call them, the backyardigans. The
only thing I'm worried about. I'm just worried about if you got Finnegan officiating. That's the only thing that makes me nervous.
Yeah, don't be nervous. I won't know until
be facing multiple opponents if that happens.
I got my hands full already with King Reggie in the corner of the Russian assassin.
But I'm saying you might have 3 people you facing Finnegan too.
Yeah, you know what? Now, thanks, bro. Now I'm gonna be worried about that. Thanks a lot.
You planted it in his head.
Thanks a lot. Now you got me.
Great. When he loses and all, I know he's gonna be searching me out to beat me up.
All right. No. Just some other matches. If we can go real quick, we have.
The
new Legacy champion.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The new the co-main event. The new Legacy champion. Sam Shields made his return. I don't know if anybody remembers the Machine Sam Shields. He made his return unbeknownst to any of us, and he won the Legacy Championship. He's going to be going against his former partner, best friend, Clutch Rockwell, for the Legacy Championship. And personally, I don't know how Clutch got this match. He's been on a 3-year losing streak now. He has not won a match in a long time.
It's coming though. I can feel it.
He probably got the match because the champ was looking for a nice easy payday. He didn't want to have to work too hard.
Yeah. So that should be a good one. We have the Backyardigans defending their tag team championships against the Rock and Roll Revival. But we only know one of the Rock and Roll Revivals. So the Rock and Roll Revival has been transforming over the last couple of shows, and maybe it'll transform one more time.
Gonna be a mystery. A little bit of a mystery. What's going on there?
Yeah.
For sure. I know Mozart Fontaine is going to be taking on Mr. Ooh La La in a first round of the new title, I guess. It's going to be the Legends title in ECW.
The Legends title. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about another one.
That's a great title. Don't you guys think?
I like that. I'm also worried about Mozart. Mozart likes to cheat, especially when it comes to Ooh La La. So I'm worried he's going to try to cheat Ooh La La out of it.
Do you think we're going to see a unification of the Legends and the Legacy at some point? I feel like they're destined to collide.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Legends and the legends have their legacy, and usually the legacy champion is making their legacy, right? They want to continue their legacy.
Okay.
But the Legends Championship just opens up the doors creatively, and to just a whole plethora of different types of talent. I'm excited to see where that one. I think that one has legs. I think that one has legs.
I do for sure. Now, are you excited for King Reginald's Open Challenge?
Yeah, boy, if I didn't have a match, I'd take it.
I can't wait.
You should take it.
I was going to say, is that something like Brady's throwing out his name into that? His.
Yeah, I don't want to fight King Reginald. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right there. Go ahead, have at
it. See, Brady would call on the WCW's own Maestro Rob Kellum to help defend him. So,
God, I haven't heard that in a while. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's going to be a great time, of course. Tickets and information, ecwawrestling.com. And the show, of course, takes place in Morganville, New Jersey, the Jersey Dugout. And again, that's April 26th with Pretzelmania. Should be a good time. Come out and get your champion autographs while he's got the belt.
Yeah, well, hopefully I get the belt back. They don't pull no shenanigans.
That's true.
And out of curiosity, Locked In, if people wanted to get themselves some Locked In merch ahead of the show, any suggestions on where they would go get your get some merch?
Yeah, just hit me up on my Instagram page, Locked In LA Vin, or it's I don't know, Locked In LA Vin. I forget the underscore or whatever how it goes, but yeah, just hit me up there, and I'm hopefully have new shirts by the 26th. I don't know if I will, but if not, it'll be for the next event. But yeah, hit me up. We got some cool new stuff coming out. Should be exciting.
I know what I wanted to ask you. I've been meaning to ask you this for years. I have to. I'm sorry. Where does this come from? Like, what is this?
No idea.
No idea, really?
I thought maybe you wore glasses when you were younger and you got like LASIK or something and you were just throwing it back to your glasses days.
I thought it was like an Ultimate Warrior thing or something. I was like trying to figure out, was he starting like this? And
I'll be honest with you. I'll be 100% honest with you. In my gym, there's mirrors all over. And when I'm working out, I try not to work out with music. I think that's cheating. It sounds stupid, but that's what I think. So I'm always in my own head and thoughts. And I'm just like, what can I do to like interact with the crowd? What is something I can do to like, they could do back. And I just don't know what it did. I just looked in the mirror and I was like, well,
it's better than this.
That's kind of silly.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go, that's
great.
silly. That's silly.
Okay.
I can't. And then I reached out to a friend of mine and I was like, hey man, don't laugh. What do you think of this? And he's like, I kind of like it. I'm like, all right, let me just do it. And I went out the next show and I just went like that. And a little kid did it back. And I go, all right. And I went like that again. And another little kid did it back. I was like, I went like that again. And next thing you know, I go like this. And then somebody took my picture. They sent it to me. And I'm like that. And I threw it on a t-shirt. And that's it. But
history.
Sorry, but there's no like special meaning
behind the genesis of these kind of things. Like it's so much fun to see how the genesis of these kind of things happen.
It is neat.
Yeah, I wish there was a cool story. Like I have a pillar of like what do each finger represents and what am I
right.
And then it turned into like
that means you have to develop that for next time. You're on. You got to tell us. You got to be like the three. What was it? The three eyes of Kurt Angle. Like your version of that with each finger.
Well, like it's funny because my catchphrase was "you're marked for a while," and then I'm like, well, wait a minute, like I'm looking at you through this, like now I've got you, I'm looking at it. So like that's now the "you're marked" thing.
I like that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I'll do that when I'm trying to like intimidate my opponent, and I do that when I'm trying to interact with the crowd.
You could piss on the audience and be like, I just marked you. That's what my dog does.
That only counts in dog law.
There you go. He's going to heel turn it.
That's only dog
ideas.
We go by human laws around here. That's
okay, I got you. My bad. I didn't know. I'll fix that for next time.
Now he's going to get himself a dog, Brady, just to train to do that because you told him to.
Just to me.
He's going to do it just to you.
Yeah. Vin, this has been a lot of fun. We definitely have to have you back soon, man.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
All right.
I could talk
Well,
wrestling
thanks a
all day
lot,
long.
man.
All right,
we
buddy.
might have to have you on for the Thursday show for WCW Retro next week, and all to kind of get your final thoughts in a couple days before the title. We'll have to.
There you go.
You know what? I
that
literally sent a video out to a friend of mine today. It was a Nitro. It was Hogan, Sting, and Goldberg versus I forget Sid, Scott Steiner, and I forget the third guy, but he was also a big name. And I'm looking, I was like, and the crowd was into it. The crowd was sold out. I'm like, I just don't understand how this failed. Like, you have all these
fell apart
superstars. I'm like, how do you just so much star power? You just need a pen and a paper, and this thing could have. I guess it was. I think there was more of a like executives didn't like wrestling or something because. God, that's like you compare that like the last four Nitros with like an AEW show. Like the last four Nitros are like almost like more electric than the AEW shows. And they're like, nah, this one's out of business.
The only thing I could figure is that there were so many stars there that like, and so many things promised to people that like politically, it just became impossible to balance everything. That's the only thing I could ever figure.
But you don't necessarily need the big name stars to be that. You look at ECWA's history. I mean, ECWA constantly year after year, sellout show after sellout show. And you figure you have a couple of big namers, and then the rest are more up and comers, and it helps you. So you don't need to have a ton of big name talent on there. Like this show, you have yourself, you have Ooh La La. I guess you got that Mozart guy every now and then, but. Then you have, a bunch of up and
I'll be there.
Again, you have a bunch of up
and
comers.
So anyway.
Yeah.
But like with the WCW
I'm not an up and comer.
The WCW thing, right? Like you could have kept just that main event I talked to you. You could have kept that handful of big names and got rid of all the other big names and kept the Eddie Guerreros of the world and and all that and the Rey Mysterios and like kind of basically like
those guys never got to step up.
It's almost like it was harder that it failed. Does that make sense? Like it was like it was easier for them to succeed than it was for them to fail. I'm like, how?
Yeah. I think it was a lot of things. It's crazy.
Also a different era too when it comes to. I think that nowadays they ratings aren't what they used to be.
Yeah,
once you get that negative. Once they start losing a few weeks in a row, 4 or 5 weeks in a row, then that I mean, think of it this way. It's the same thing with a broadcast TV show. Once it goes down in ratings by, compared to when it opens up at, all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess this is a failing show. Time to cancel it. Like it's that kind of mindset.
Yeah, I just think it was
enough. Yeah.
Just people who didn't understand wrestling or wrestling fans.
Yeah.
More importantly.
Like even to this day, so many people talk funny about that time. I feel like if WWE really wanted to make the money, they could launch a WCW show on like one of their streaming platforms, and I think it would do really well.
You know what?
You wouldn't even have to have the same stars.
I've been saying for years, get rid of Raw. You make it WWE Raw, and then get rid of in WCW SmackDown or WCW Nitro.
Yeah.
Like,
what drives me insane? We're talking about the streaming services. Why can't I just put on like 95, 94, 98, and then it goes linear? Like here's the show, the pay-per-view, Like it should lead into chronological order. That way you can sit there and almost binge watch. Like,
I can't even on the network. I can't even find the old Raws anymore.
Oh, it's a pain.
Era and stuff. I can't even find it. I don't even know where it's at.
When the network first came out, you need Wikipedia just to look it all up and know where to go next.
Yeah, that stinks too because like if you're just watching like during the pandemic, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch all the Attitude Era because when I watched it live, I was flipping back and forth. You know what I mean? I'm like, I probably missed a lot, right? So I was like, I'm gonna watch all linear. The problem is like I had to watch the Raw, and then if you weren't absolutely clear that the pay-per-view was coming up to get out, it went to the next Raw with the results of the pay-per-view. So like, I just got spoiled. Like, how hard would it be? Just make it linear. Just say I want to watch it from 1992, whatever that is, starting January when going forward.
Yeah, even if they just want to make it like a sortable category kind of thing, where you don't have to do that, but you can.
It'll be so much easier. It'll be so much easier to watch it, and
Yeah.
Whatever.
Interesting stuff, though.
Yeah.
Well, man, we do have to get out of here.
All right, me too, buddy.
Thank you for the time, brother.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk real soon.
Thank you so much, man.
Yep. April 26th, ECWA. Locked in LA on Instagram.
There you go.
All right, brothers.
Take care. See you, man. Sorry about that. So that has been Locked in LA Vin, part of the ECWA, and we will plug Pretzelmania at the end of the show.